Hello time travelers! In this video I'm going to show you how to set up and get started with ComfyUI. It is literally a super complicated and super frustrating system compared to Automatic 1111, and it's very frustrating, and I spent a bunch of time the last few days figuring it out, but I'm going to distill it into something that will help you save tons of time setting it up and getting it going. This is my look of disapproval. First thing you're going to need to do is install Git if you haven't already. It's got other AI stuff installed on your computer already. You already have it installed. If this is your first time using Git, I've got a link to this page and the descriptor what's it below. Go over to the Windows link. Click here to download the latest version, blah, blah, blah. Download that. It's going to my downloads folder. That's fine. When it's done downloading, I hit Control J, hit this little button so I can show it in there. And when I run it, I've already have it installed, so it says this. But you basically just keep hitting next all the way through it. There's no special things you have to do. So I'm going to exit this since I already have it. The next thing you need to install is called 7-zip, which is optional, but I recommend it because we're going to be downloading a .7z file for ComfyUI in a few minutes. And ever since I read somewhere that the algorithm for .7z files is really only understood by 7-zip and not WinRAR or WinZip or Windows, when Windows started supporting opening archives, I only use 7-zip to extract 7-zip files. Again, I got this linked in the descriptor whatsits. Hit the download whatsit, download it right here, and the one I downloaded is the 64-bit Windows 64. Here I have it in my downloads. So I just hit install and run it and it's done. Now we are going to download and install ComfyUI. This is the GitHub repo for ComfyUI. You don't want to hit code and copy like other stuff you get off of GitHub. Scroll all the way down until you find direct link download. Or you can hit Control F, which brings up the search box in your browser. It'll be on the bottom left for Firefox or up here for Chrome-based browsers. And then hit enter until it's highlighted. Now for me, I'm not going to let that download to my downloads folder because I've configured my browser to always ask me where to download stuff. So I'm going to put D, AI stuff, and go into here and hit save. Control J, keep an eye on it until it's finished downloading. So this might take about 5 minutes or so, just let it run. All right, now that it's done, I'm gonna hit this button that opens it up in its folder. I'm gonna click on the file so it becomes highlighted and press Alt and Enter, which brings up the properties. And then press K on my keyboard, which checks the unblock button, and hit OK. Otherwise, if you unpack it sometimes randomly, things won't work. Now I'm showing file extensions over here. I recommend you always do that. In Windows 10, you go to View, Options, View tab, uncheck Hide extensions for known file types. It's even easier in Windows 11. You just hit View over here and then you click a couple things, and I'll throw a screenshot on the screen. There we go. Now I open this up and I see the name of it, okay? The reason why I'm showing you that is I'm going to change that in a second. But if I right click this and hit 7-zip, I'm passing over my WinRAR options. WinRAR is my favorite except for doing 7-zips. And go over here and hit extract here. Now, why I opened it up first was to make sure it was a folder inside instead of all the files just in there by themselves. Because if it was all the files in there by themselves, then you would just spam up this whole folder full of crap. And it would get real frustrating. Now this is actually will take more or less time depending on the speed of the CPU in your computer because it has to crunch numbers in order to extract things. Now I'm going to open it up and go away, nags. Bring it over here so you can see it. I'm going to click it and then press F2 to rename it. Okay, it won't let me press F2. Right click, 7-zip, open archive. There we go. Now I can rename it. Press end and put SDXL at the end. All right, that took a second. Then I'm gonna right click that, hit 7-zip, and extract here again. The reason is because I like to keep my SD 1.5 and my SDXL stuff completely separate from each other. It's for two reasons. So to help stuff not bug out and to help me not get confused which one I'm running. Because there's so many models and there's so many things and I can't get it all straight in my head. And how I'm able to be productive and do so many things is that I compartmentalize things. I'm gonna move that to the side and let that keep running while I continue setup for this one. Go in here into the folder You see this README very important. Well, it should just be called README in my opinion. There's some stuff in here where we want to do, but I'm going to go over it with you right now. First thing is go into the update folder and run this one. It says update ComfyUI and Python dependencies.bat. And then you have to press any key to continue so it actually does it. And it only takes about a minute. And I'm going to do the one for SDXL as well. Minimize that and go back. Now go into your ComfyUI folder, scroll down, and you're going to see extra model pass.yaml.example. Again, you need to be showing your file extensions so that you could see these and change these. Click it so it becomes highlighted, press F2, and then press end on your keyboard and erase the .example off the end. Yes. Double click it or try an app on this PC. See all this garbage you have to go through to open it? I'm gonna show you a trick. If you already know how to open CMD to this folder, I have this plugin over here that does it, but the best way is for you to memorize this. Hit Windows button R on your keyboard, then your run box will open. Type CMD and press enter. And I'm gonna move it down here, go over here, Alt D, Control C. What I did, Alt D, put your cursor up here at the top, Control C copies it. CD space /D space double quote. Right click to paste the path, double quote. Now I'm in that folder. Now if I type notepad, and go back over here, take extra model pass and carefully drop it on that command line window. Oops, I need a space in between. There we go. Now you have a space in between, press enter. This is future me when I'm doing the SDXL one and I realize you need to do this, and it doesn't matter what folder this path is in command line. You just type notepad, you drag your file you want to open in notepad over there, and press home on your keyboard, because I forgot, you need to put a double quote right there, and press end and put a double quote right there, and press enter. And that opens it up. What are we gonna do here? Read what it says right here. All you have to do is change the base path to where yours is installed for automatic 1111. Where's mine installed? This is the path to mine, so I'm gonna hit Alt D and then Control C. But here's a problem. Python uses forward slashes instead of backslashes. So, and it's also got a forward slash at the end. So I'm gonna open another notepad by hitting Windows button R, typing notepad, press enter, paste that in, hit Control H, which is find and replace. In Windows 11, this is a little different. It's up here at the top, but it has the same functionality. Type backslash, tab, forward slash, and then for Windows 10, you can actually just hit tab and then the letter A to do replace all. In Windows 11, you have to go over to the right and hit replace all. Now I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste this right here. Now what this is doing is it tells ComfyUI when it loads, they can also get models from in here in this folder. And then it plugs this path together with this. Like if it needs a LoRa, it's going to look in this folder. And that's going to work. And these all work except for ControlNet, because for some reason ControlNet's default folder is this in automatic 1111, but when you actually install ControlNet, it uses a different folder. So here's my stable diffusion folder, and I go to extensions, and I want SD Web UI ControlNet, and then models. Alt D, Control C, go to my other notepad, Control A, Control V, Control H, Tab A, escape, Control A, Control C, go back over here and replace that. So I did that super fast. So I'm gonna slow it down so you see what the heck I did. But I'm showing you how you can use hotkeys to speed up your workflow. I got the folder I want. Alt D is go to the top, Control C is copy. Go to notepad, Control A is select all, Control V is to paste to replace, Control H is find and replace window. I verified these are correct. I tabbed down and pressed A, which is this replace all button. And it did that. Press escape to close the replace all thingy. Control A to select all, Control C to copy. Hope you got all that. I don't want to go too fast for people that don't realize what the frick I did. Control S to save that. Okay, now I've got the base path set up for my SDXL models, and my ControlNet, I'm gonna have it use the same folder because there's not any ControlNet models for SDXL really yet, just in case I have it in there. Control S, close that. Now, before we actually run ComfyUI, we need to install ComfyUI Manager because ComfyUI doesn't have a menu to install plugins, which are called nodes in Comfy, whatever. This is my look of disapproval. This is a ComfyUI Manager page. I'll have it linked below. But what we want to do is get into this folder. You got your ComfyUI Windows Portable, ComfyUI, Custom Nodes. Alt-D, Control-C, go over here, CD space/D space double quote, right-click to paste, another double quote, and hit Enter. We're going to install a custom node right here, which is, you know, a plugin. Go back to here, this ComfyUI Manager page, hit Code, and then this little copy button right here. Alt-Tab back, oops, Alt-Tab tab, okay. Now I'm going to use Git to download it. Git clone space right-click to paste. And it's done. Now, here's my command to get into my SDXL version of ComfyUI. Hit Enter. And I'm just going to press up, 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 up. Where are you? Just pressing up and down until I see my git clone command. And clone it in there. Good, that's done. And now I'm going to show you how to run it. And I'm going to show you a better way where you run it from command line instead of just double clicking it. Now, in order to run this, we want run NVIDIA GPU.bat. But I'm going to CD/D into that folder first and run it from here so that when I want to stop running ComfyUI, I can hit Control-C to kill it without making this window close. Because if I run it from here and hit Control-C, this command line window will close. And what if I want to run it again? Run _N, press tab to autocomplete. That gives me the NVIDIA version and run it. And the first run, it takes a few minutes because it's installing some more stuff. But, oh, I lied. It only took a few seconds to install all that stuff. And here's like a default, generic workflow thingy. And I pressed Control-Enter, which is the same as clicking Q prompt to make sure everything works. This part gets a green outline around it because it means it's loading the model. And then whenever it's doing a step, that part will turn green. It's doing it. See, now it's over here using the sampler. And it made this picture. So let's put it over there. Before we move on to the next part, this is my little self-promo section for the video. The reason why I made this video, really, I didn't have much motivation to try ComfyUI until I saw some videos where people were running SDXL Turbo in it, and it was generating images as they typed. I thought that was cool. And as I did the testing, I found out I could do other stuff where I could try something in SDXL Turbo and then take my prompt over to Automatic 11 and vice versa. But you're gonna wanna subscribe and come back to the channel because I'm gonna be doing a video on SDXL Turbo and you're gonna see all about that. Also, in the last couple of days, I've been teaching myself about how to use Dream Booth because I've got a couple of people that said in the comments they wanted to see videos about that. And I posted a poll on my community page just earlier today, and I've already got 14 votes. And I said, I started learning about Dream Booth today. Who's interested in seeing videos about it? 43% of you guys said Dream Booth is awesome. Awesome. Yes! 21% said Dream Booth is meh. And 36% of you said, what? Which is cool. At least half of that 36% would be interested in seeing what the frick it is, probably. So make sure you tell me in the comments if you're interested in seeing a video about Dream Booth. And which is more exciting to you and relevant to you, Dream Booth or SDXL Turbo? And now we need to set up our stuff so that we can load workflows. Wherever you put this folder is up to you. You can put a separate one in each one of these or just one outside, whatever. For me, what I'm gonna do is hit Control-Shift-N up here in this folder, ComfyUI Workflows, all caps so it's easy for me to see. I'm gonna go in there. Now here's an example of a workflow that's on Civet AI, and it's got a lot of stuff going on, which is probably not good for a beginner to be using. However, the reason why I'm showing it is so I can show you a good example of troubleshooting a workflow after you download it when you need to install stuff. Hit this download button right here. I'm going to copy paste my path from right there to over there and just hit enter. And this is an example of a workflow that's in a zip file. I double click it to see what's inside. Okay, it's a JSON, that's fine. Now I just right click it and press the letter X if I have Windows 10 and I have WinRAR installed. Otherwise you have to hit show more options and go find extract here. Alt-D, Control-C, so I have that path. Now let's go over to ComfyUI and I'm gonna hit load and then paste, enter, but it's already in that folder. and it's seeing I don't have these plugins installed, which brings me over to the ComfyUI Manager that had you install earlier. It adds this button right here, just says Manager, and you see if I were to zoom out, which is Control and mouse wheel, you can see all these nodes that it doesn't have installed. With the Manager, there's all this stuff going on. Mostly you're going to be using a couple of the buttons in here. Sometimes you're going to be updating ComfyUI with this button, or to go look for models that are missing that someone's workflow is looking for. This is not just checkpoints, it's like LoRa's and other things. But I'm gonna hit this one, install custom nodes. These are the custom nodes that are missing over here. If you check one of them, and then go back up to the top and hit this, it will check them all. And then go over and hit any one of these and hit install. Now this takes a few minutes. If you have a lot of stuff you need to have it install, do something else on your computer, or walk away and live your life. And don't sit here and babysit it. But you can monitor the status by getting your console and putting it like this, so that you can see how that just changed just now, and that it's actually downloading junk. When it's done, it says you need to hit this restart button. Okay, and it says reconnecting. And you watch the console. And see right here, it actually downloads more stuff and installs more things. So again, I would just get up and walk away. But since I'm making a video, I have to suffer and provide this service to y'all. All right, it just popped up for me. But it shouldn't take that long if you are installing a more sensible, less massive workflow. I just had to show that one so you could see a really good example of what could happen. Here's a GitHub repo with some ComfyUI examples from comfyanonymous.
Anonymous 821 signed in to multiple accounts and standing by.
And if we scroll down, let's pick, for this example, let's do just a basic image to image. And why I'm choosing this example is because some workflows are hidden inside of the metadata inside of a PNG file. So I'm copying just his name. You don't have to do that, it's optional. Right click and hit V for download, DAI, and I'm just typing in the path because I got his name in the clipboard. Here's a folder. There we go. Now I've made a name. I'll go back to ComfyUI and hit the load button and hit that. You can also, for PNG files that have a workflow, just drag it in to ComfyUI like that. I don't know what kind of workflow he was thinking of. I need to, arrange this a little better like that. Now I'm going to show you a little bit of the ins and outs of ComfyUI and how the nodes work. So this first node over here has the model, and I could type realistic vision because I have that installed in my automatic 1111 folder, and I've shared it with this. Go down to the new one, version 6. And unfortunately, there's no progress bar for it loading the weights into memory. But if I hit Control Enter, you'll see it turn green. And when it's not green anymore, it's loaded. But let's see what the console's doing. It says, be the change that you wish to see in the world. Why don't you tell me how far you are loading my checkpoint? That's the change I need to see. This is my look of disapproval. Oh, there it goes. Oh, this is a guiding image. Interesting. If I right click it and hit open image, and you see the face is kind of jacked up. So maybe we need to go to realistic vision on Civet AI and get a better prompt. All right, let's try this one. The copy button for the prompt, copy button for the negative prompt, DPM++ 2M keras. So we go over here and see if we can find which node does the sampler. DPM 2M, I guess. And then changes to keras for the scheduler. And then copy paste the seed, which is purely optional. Okay. Steps 27, CFG 7. You might not be able to see it, but I'm clicking the tiny arrows here to change the number. Or you can double click the thing and it pops up this box you can type into. All right, we've got those in there. Unfortunately, we don't have clip skip as an option because they're using clip skip too. I'm gonna hit Control Enter and see how it goes. Open image. Still kind of janky. This workflow doesn't even have the resolution, height, and width. Let's try one of these workflows from Akatsuzi. And his simple template has a lot of stuff going on. But anyways, hit the download button, hit save, go into my folder where it just downloaded, open it up to see if he's got any names on there. Nope. How am I supposed to save it? I need to, as a unique name so I can remember. F2, home, paste, space, there. And since his files are just straight in there, and I want these to be in their own folder, I'm gonna right click this and hit extract to this option right here. All right, Alt D, Control C, go back to this tab, load, and use a simple template. I'm a noob. None of my nodes are red. Control Enter just to see what happens. And it's complaining about something. None type is blah 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 blah. Checkpoint loader simple. So his workflow probably has a checkpoint I don't have. Yeah, comfy roll anime. So let's change that. Let's try it to Pixcute, which is something that's slightly anime that I downloaded recently. Control Enter. And it sees the VE because I have this particular VE file in my automatic 1111 folder. Ah, there we go again. Loading a model without showing me how long it's going to take to load the model. This is my look of disappointment. Oh, but check it out. It has, trying to show the peeps something. Oh, I know how to fix this one. It uses an input file, and it's looking in this folder. So I'm going to hit Windows button R and move it up here. Put D, AI stuff, ComfyUI Windows Portable, /. All I'm doing is looking at what I see above it right here. Input, / input, okay? And it's looking for image.png. So I'm gonna hit Control C, Control V, F2 to rename it, put image. All right, what I was trying to say, was where I was so rudely interrupted, is that this one has clip skip. And normally in automatic 1111, you choose 1, 2, or 3 or whatever. And this is a negative because technically when you choose clip skip, you're choosing from the end of the generation and moving backwards. Anyways, I'm gonna hit Control Enter, processing the VE right now, and it's moved on to wherever this line goes. And now we got another problem. Upscale modeler. Right, where are you, upscale modeler? It should be a red outline. It got that far. Where the frick is the upscale modeler? Stupid simple workflow. My look of disapproval. Oh, right here, it's purple around it. Maybe it can't find real SGRAN. So let's check if we can install it using this what's it. Go to Manager, install models. Go over here, type ESRGRAN. Okay, real. Well, I'm gonna install both of these things. And see, that's what it's crying about. I'm not crying, I'm emo! All right, let's see what happens. Control Enter. None type object has no attribute loader. Still, what? It's stuck here. Let's try Yandir, one of my other upscalers I have. Control Enter. It likes that one. And it's upscaling it. And right click, open image. Apparently that's upscaled, doesn't look that upscaled to me. And this particular workflow doesn't have options for changing the settings of the upscaler. But I think that's enough for this video because, you know, with this much information, we need to go to bed and let our brains absorb all that we have just learned. And if you're new to the channel and you don't know how to install Automatic 1111, I did a video on it and you can click right here to see that. And click over here because I also do skits sometimes and I have AI help me write the scripts. And you can subscribe to the channel right over here. All right, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.